Hello and welcome to another exciting week in the NFL. I am your host, the Sports Swami. As we wind up to the end of the season, we're now on week 16. Before we begin with week 16, let's review how we did on week 15. Week 15 was a great week for us. We finished with 14 wins and 2 losses. Our Swami picks for week 16 were 8-1. We thought that Pittsburgh would hold up a little better against Philadelphia, but we didn't take into account the fact that George Pickens was out, and so we didn't change our pick, and we wound up taking it on that one. The other loss for the week was the Los Angeles Chargers, who we think are beginning to fade a bit, and that's why we've taken Denver for this week, week 16. We also did a number of picks against the spread. This was upon viewer request, and it's something we will not be doing again. We finished our ATS picks at 2 wins and 4 losses. We find that ATS picks are really too volatile at this time of the year. You have teams being injured. You have teams giving up hope. It's not something where we feel comfortable predicting. So going forward, we'll just stick with our normal picks. Some of those do include spread picks where we think it's advisable. If you haven't by now, please subscribe to the video. It helps us in the ratings. It helps us continue the channel. And take a moment to like the video and put some comments down below. We really appreciate that. Without further ado, let's get into the week 16 picks. Our first game up is the Thursday night pick, and that is Denver traveling to the Los Angeles Chargers. As we mentioned earlier, we think that Denver is going to push to the end of the season, and we like Denver. We'll take the points on Denver, and so we recommend taking Denver +3. The next game up is a really close game to call. It's Houston against Kansas City. If we look at all of the numbers, and if we look at the injury report, there is some concern on Patrick Mahomes. Even if he doesn't play, we think that Kansas City has way too much on the line for this one. If they lose this game and Buffalo finishes strong, Kansas City has 2 difficult games beyond this, one of which is within a few more days. We know that Houston has already clinched their division, so we recommend taking Kansas City plus the 2.5 points. The next one's a very important game. It's the NFC North, and it's Pittsburgh traveling to Baltimore. We think this time around that Baltimore will win the game. Pittsburgh is starting to fade a bit, and we think that Baltimore is coming on and knows what they have to do to win the division. So we recommend taking Baltimore on the money line. The next game up are the New York Giants traveling to Atlanta, and we think that since the Giants do not have much riding on this game, and Atlanta has everything riding on the game, the Atlanta running game will be a bit too much for the Giants to contain, and we recommend taking Atlanta on the money line. The next game up is New England traveling to Buffalo, and this is a pretty easy pick for us. We recommend taking Buffalo on the money line. The Swami thinks that Buffalo will win out their last 3 games, and will give Kansas City a run for their money in terms of who will host the divisional playoff game. The next game up is Detroit traveling to Chicago, and while this is a divisional game, we think the loss that Detroit suffered will actually help them in this game, and we don't anticipate a close game. We anticipate Detroit winning handily. We recommend taking Detroit on the money line. The next game up is Cleveland traveling to Cincinnati, and Cincinnati is the only one who has anything at stake in this game. We also think their horsepower will be a little too much for Cleveland, so we recommend taking Cincinnati on the money line. In another game that's rather one-sided, Tennessee is traveling to Indianapolis, and we think that Indianapolis is playing for the marbles here and will control the game, and we recommend taking Indianapolis on the money line. The next game up are the Los Angeles Rams traveling to the New York Jets. And while we think the Jets showed a little bit of spark last week, the Rams really have everything on the line, and the Jets are all done for the season. So we do recommend taking the Los Angeles Rams on the money line. The next game up will be a bit of a squeaker. We do anticipate Philadelphia to keep on rolling and take care of business in Washington, and we recommend taking Philadelphia on the money line. The next game up is Arizona traveling to Carolina, and while Carolina has been showing a little bit of spunk lately and getting some of their form back, the only team that has something on the line in this game is Arizona. We don't think that Carolina will be able to handle the Arizona running game. We anticipate James Conner to have a really good game, and we do recommend taking Arizona on the money line. The next game up is Minnesota traveling to Seattle, and while both teams are in very tough divisional contests, and Geno Smith's injury is not well established at this time, we think he'll probably be out for the game, but nonetheless, we do think Minnesota will prevail. We do recommend taking Minnesota on the money line. The next game up has Jacksonville traveling to Las Vegas, and while this should be a fairly close game, we think that Jacksonville will prevail in the end, and we recommend taking Jacksonville on the money line. The next game up is San Francisco traveling cross country to play Miami, and both teams are fighting for their playoff contention right now. We do think that Miami is beginning to fade. They have the Waddle injury, and we think that San Francisco will take care of business. We do recommend taking San Francisco plus the 1.5 points. The next game up is Tampa Bay traveling to Dallas, and Tampa Bay is still fighting for their divisional playoff. We do think that Tampa Bay will take care of business, outscore Dallas, and we do recommend taking Tampa Bay on the money line. And in our last game, we have New Orleans traveling to Green Bay. We don't anticipate this to be a close game. Green Bay should win it handily, and we recommend taking Green Bay on the money line. Well, there you have it. Our Week 16 picks are in. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you're doing well. Please remember to like and subscribe to our video. It really helps our channel. And as always, this is the Swami saying, have a great and profitable week.